Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video from Class 47 Peter. And in today's video I'm going to be adding some back scenes to the layout. Now for me, back scenes really do bring the layout to life. They do add so much more scenery and detail as well. Particularly in videos, when I'm filming model railway videos, you know, it adds more interest. And it's nice to look at as well, the back scenes. Especially, like I say, in model railway videos, when I place the camera down, you can see the backdrops, the back scenes, as I say, rather. Like, for example, if I place the camera down here, you can see the back scene, and it's something nice to look at as well, rather than just looking at the shed panels there, as you can see. So the back scenes are much nicer. I've already got two up, as you can see. Now, I have been meaning to get the back scenes finished. I could do with putting the back scene over there, and I could definitely do with putting one along here, and it has been something I've been meaning to get done. And so I've gone and bought some more back scenes, which have just arrived in the post. These ones are made by ID Backscenes, which the back scenes that are already up on the layout are made by ID Backscenes. And the ones I've gone for is Series 206 Hills and Dales Pack B, which are the ones that are up on the layout. Now the reason I've gone and bought the same back scenes is because, well, if I get another back scene that's got a different scenery in the background and I get it placed along either alongside there or down alongside there at the end just there where I'm pointing to, I don't think it's going to look right. So it helps if it's the same back scenes, because then it just looks much better, I think. So now I'm going to get these back scenes fixed into place on the layout. Now, I could use blue tack or plasticine to hold them in place, but I've tried that before in the past and it doesn't work. So I'm going to use the same method that I've done before to put these up, and that is taking some large piece of cardboard and gluing them on, and then just simply placing them at the back, which does work quite well. So I've laid down this big piece of cardboard, which is from a cardboard box, which I have cut and then laid it down flat. And it won't all be used, but it's long enough to get most of the back scene on. And to glue it on, I'm going to be using PVA glue, as well as a brush which I've got here, which is a paint brush, which I'll be able to spread out a large amount of it on. And the PVA glue does work best to glue this onto the cardboard. And so we'll get this camera mounted on the tripod, so you can see me glue the back scene on, which will be quite fun to do. Okay, so that's the first of these two backscenes now done. That's now been glued onto the cardboard. The other one is over there, which I'll turn my attention to that later. So all I've got to do now is to cut this out, and I'm going to do that using a Stanley knife, but I'll do that off camera. Okay, so the back scene has now been cut out. So now I've got to get this added to the layout. Right, so I'm going to put the backdrop along here. Now one thing I am going to have to do is, if I just get the backdrop, I'm going to have to cut it to size, because obviously it is too long really. As I will demonstrate, because it will need to be cut down to size. So actually there's not much that's got to come off, only a little bit. Okay, so I've got a pen and a ruler, and I'm going to draw a line to where I need to basically cut the back seam to size. And the reason I'm using the ruler is so I can draw a nice straight line. So the last thing I want to do really is to draw a line that's not so straight. There we go, that'll do. So I'll remove the back seam, and then I'll simply get that cut to size. Okay, so that backdrop has now gone in place, and I am quite pleased with that. I have had to use some double-sided tape though on the back there to stick it in place, but you know, that does happen sometimes. I even had to do it with that one there. One thing I did do though on that back scene there was touch it up a little bit. That area there, what I did was I made it so that the hill there at the end is sloping down, so it's matching with that bit of the hill there, because it bends down and then goes up again, if you get what I mean. Because as you might have noticed in the video when I was putting it up, that part of the hill there was going straight along there, so it didn't quite look right, especially with that little bit there. So I've just taken a white Posca paint pen, because the white, it blends into the sky a bit there. There's an area there that's white, so it blends in quite well. I just simply made it so that that bit of the hill there is sloping by painting one corner of it, and so that actually does now look much better. I mean, there is a gap between those two back scenes, as you can see, but there's not much that can be done about that. I mean, you will get the odd gap or two with some of these back scenes on your model railway, but it's not like it detracts or spoils the scenery, because it doesn't, and it's still much nicer to look at now, I think, than just having all the panels of the shed. And also this particular area will look very nice when I'm using this workbench, because I've got this nice background to look at, especially when I'm doing my review videos, which I do the unboxing parts, and when I talk about the detail of the models, is filmed on this workbench here. So that means as well, with the camera positioning down like this, you'll be able to get a glimpse of the backdrop as well. back scenes, which will look quite nice, I think. So I'm very pleased with that one, how it's gone on. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my attention to the other back scene. As you can see, just like the other one, I've laid down a big piece of cardboard, which will get cut to size. Well, it has been cut to size already, I should say, rather. But obviously, once the back scene's been glued on, I will trim the excess piece of cardboard off. So let's get to it. Okay, so the glue is now dry, and so all I have to do now is trim off the excess piece of cardboard, which I will do on camera because I didn't do it last time. Okay, so this back scene is now finished. So all I've got to do now is to get this added to the layout. Then the back scenes will be finished. Okay, so very much like the other back scene, this one has also had to be cut to size. I have had to trim a bit off the end just there for it to fit along there. So it should fit now. I shouldn't have to cut any more off it. So I'll get that added to that area there. So the back scene has now gone up in place. It wasn't easy to do, I'll be honest. It was more difficult to add this one on, but we've managed to get it on in the end. And the back scenes on the layout are now finished, and so this area all along here where I wanted to put the back scenes on is now done, and I have to say the back scenes have totally transformed the layout, I think. We had to use some double-sided tape though to stick that one on in place, but that's not what we had to do with all of them. But that's fine because they're now nice and firmly in place. And they really have just added that extra more scenery to the layout, and they just look fantastic. Now that fence there did come away, so I've glued it back into place. And I've also gone and touched up some of the areas on the ramp there, especially painting over bits of glue on the fences with black paint so it isn't as noticeable. That sign, now that didn't come away while I was putting the back scene up, but when I came into the shed I accidentally knocked it, so I've had to glue it back into place. So do excuse those two cars there placed front and back to it. That's just there to hold it in place while the glue is setting. But anyway, so that's it for today's video, and what I'll do at the end of this video, I'll put in a short running session of some locomotives running around the layout, and what I will do is I'll have the camera placed in areas on the layout where you can see the back scenes in the background. But as ever, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and check out all my other content, and I'll see you again soon for the next video. Take care.